We're in Switzerland, going through the Alps, enjoying some stunning snow-capped mountain scenery, pressed up against the window to get every possible glimpse and every click on our camera that we can, going past these quaint picture postcard perfect villages. One of our more unusual sights is this cute little church that's on the top of a hill in a village. You'll see it in a moment because this church goes by the train 3 different times, each time on a different side of the train. First we see it on the right side, now the left side, and then we'll see it again out the right window, even though it's on the left side of the train that time. It's quite a remarkable phenomenon, and what happens is the train goes into a tunnel at that point and spirals around and comes out the tunnel to lose altitude. Then it goes into another tunnel, spirals around, and so on to lose altitude. And each time it comes out of the tunnel, we see that church on a different side of the train. Sounds a little confusing, doesn't it? It's all part of the fun, as are these beautiful lakes. And then we arrive at our destination, which is Lucerne, in the heart of Switzerland. The famous wooden Keppelbrücke, swans gracefully gliding by. In the background you see Mount Pilatus. We're going up there shortly in the program. The classic Jesuit church is one of the landmarks of Lucerne, right on the River Reuss. You can have this nice view from the wall that surrounds the old town. There's always some beautiful swans gliding by our hotel. You see in the background the Hotel des Balance, right on the water, the River Reuss, in the heart of the old town of Lucerne. The front of the hotel is a classic painted facade. The building's actually 500 years old, but totally renovated and modernized on the inside, with one of the best breakfasts you'll ever find. A complete buffet, and they have usually got 6 different kinds of bread in the morning. Dark bread, light bread, all of it freshly baked the night before. Eggs, sausage, bacon, fruits, cheeses, yogurts, juices, great coffee. A fabulous way to start the day with this backdrop of the Jesuit church for scenery. And then something exciting happened. Ray and Raquel announced that morning they had become engaged back in Rome at the beginning of our trip. The proposal was popped in the Sistine Chapel. So it's a great moment for all of us to be the first reception line.
It's like the reception already here, though.
Magical things can happen on our group tours. We really get to know each other like a family. Usually a small-sized group of about 20 or 30 people. Walking along past the outdoor restaurant of our hotel, what a spectacular setting for a meal. With a view of the Jesuit church across the river. On the inside, you'll find a Rococo style of decor painted by Swiss artists from the south of Switzerland in the Italian style. The city hall towers over the heart of the old town, some typical streets, and then we visit the chocolate shop, one of the great treasures of the country. Explain everything there.
This is the homemade, the fresh chocolates. We have truffles, light and dark, champagne, cognac, then we have caramel. The base is always chocolate.
And those chocolates are all freshly made right in Lucerne, so it's something that you can only buy here. Of course, every town in Switzerland has its own chocolate makers and wonderful supplies, but Lucerne has got something extra. Lucerne is perhaps the most quaint and beautiful collection of old buildings in the country. Good reason why it's the most popular place for visitors. One of the many attractions of Lucerne is the cable car ride up Mount Pilatus. It's very easy to get to the cable car. You can take the public bus from the town. It takes about 10 minutes to get out to the cable car station. And you get on and up you go, up the mountain. Switzerland has colonized and conquered most of its mountain peaks with either cable cars or funicular railways that take you right to the top. Makes a very pleasant ride. They show a little diagram at the midpoint. You get off and change cable cars to a slightly larger cable car. This is very typical of the Swiss system. And then it's another 10 or 15-minute ride up to the very peak of Mount Pilatus, and it's covered with snow. We're here in the month of April. This is our springtime version of Europe by train, Rome to London. In the month of April, very often you'll find snow up on Mount Pilatus. The altitude is 7,000 feet. Now that's moderate by Swiss standards. And that means that in the summertime, there's generally no snow at the top of Pilatus. But again, we're here in the springtime, and we found this beautiful mantle of white blanketing the peak. The temperature is mild. It feels like a sunny 45 degrees, and there is a spectacular view of the heart of the Swiss Alps from Pilatus. One of the great beauties of this mountain is it has an unobstructed 360-degree view looking into the mountain peaks all around. You can see as far as the Jungfrau. You can see the Monk and the Eiger. You can see probably 20 peaks that are over 12,000 feet here from Pilatus, and they've got a cafe and a hotel. You could actually spend the night in this round hotel, one of the more unique experiences in Switzerland. There's a viewing platform, and you can walk around to see out in the different directions from Pilatus. It's getting a little cloudy, so we retreat indoors for some tea and pastries. What a treat here in the afternoon to sit back and relax. Very civilized, don't you think? Have this rustic wooden cafe, restaurant, and hotel at the top of the mountain. Swiss engineering gets us back down the hill in comfort and security. And then there's a view of Pilatus, where we've just come from the main town of Lucerne at the Keppelbrücke, the old wooden bridge crossing the River Reuss. And we make our way back into the heart of town. Again, it's a short bus ride, a short walk, and in 15 minutes you get from the cable car right back into town. Another view of the tables and restaurants overlooking the banks of the River Reuss. There's about 8 different restaurants all in a row here. A couple of more views into the heart of town. We're just showing you some highlights of Lucerne in today's program. We stay here for 2 days and 2 nights, so we really do get to see quite a bit. But for now, we're going to move it along as we leave the Jesuit church and the river behind and get in our train and head north to Paris, the next stop on our trip. We've started in Rome, went to Florence and Venice. Now we're going from Lucerne to Paris via Lake Geneva here. This is called Lac Léman by the Swiss, and there's some beautiful vineyards, rolling hills that spill right down to the water's edge. And we have a fabulous view from the comfort of our Swiss train. This is first-class travel at its best. It's so nice to be able to kick back in a train and relax. You can walk around, you can go to the snack car, have a full meal. There's facilities, restrooms right on board, and we have really got it made on this train trip.